You know, one of the things about living down on the bay, it's beautiful, but you can look at the house and see what happens when you live that close to salt water.
Yeah, things just seem to age faster and wear faster.
That's right, and it's not me aging. I hadn't been on the water that long. Homeowners love a good, straightforward, practical approach to home improvement.
Not every home needs a total overhaul.
That's why we focus on small projects that'll make a big difference.
Oh my
Gosh, yes!
Chelsea always has some great ideas for homeowners.
And Dad's practical knowledge with his fun-loving attitude is why we've been around for so long.
The most realistic, most current home improvement information you're going to find anywhere. Pretty slick, huh?
Families that improve their homes together stay together.
This house sits on the shores of Mobile Bay, about 25 miles south of the city of Mobile, Alabama. Don and Julie Beebe are the owners, and they've been battling the elements here since they first bought the place over 20 years ago.
Well, we bought the house in 2002. People had 2 weeks to move out. We never got to use our first pier. There was a hurricane that came through during those 2 weeks, took the whole thing out. So we had to have it completely rebuilt, and that was our first experience. And we've, had several hurricanes. Katrina took 2 sides of our garage, and all of our stuff ended up who knows where. We never saw it again.
But it's all worth it. It's worth every bit of it.
We love it on the water.
It's been my dream to live on the water on the bay. I love to fish, and I fish almost every day. So to me, anyway, it's worth all of the stuff that Julie has to do.
I'm the handyman around here, so I'm just constantly having projects, which I enjoy. That's my thing.
Yeah, I'm really comfortable with her doing all that because it's done right.
My fluffy hammer. Well, you find everything corrodes down here. You don't think that it should, but it does. And we're not having any leaks on our roof, but our insurance company sent us a letter in the beginning of the year that if we didn't replace the roof, then we had no insurance. But that's one of the problems with living on the water as well. So we are now getting a new roof.
Well, it's a pretty sunny day out here, but it's a little too cold for my taste.
It's very chilly.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to get warmer later on this week.
Well, that'll be good because the roofers will be here.
You know, one of the things about living down on the bay, it's beautiful, but you can look at the house and see what happens when you live that close to salt water.
Yeah, things just seem to age faster and wear faster.
That's right, and it's not me aging. I hadn't been on the water that long.
So y'all are going back with another metal roof?
We are. I watch Danny's shows, I listen to his podcast all the time, and I noticed on his website, MRA stands for Metal Roofing Alliance, and that's where I started.
Any idea how old this is?
I'd say 27 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The house is 27
Boy,
years
I've
old.
never seen one that pronounced.
Being on the water, though, in the salt air, I'm sure that is not easy on the metal roof.
It's continuous, though, all the time.
And I understand the new metal roof you're doing won't have any of the fasteners exposed.
I did a lot of research and found that there was a new roof now that you don't have the screws. No, it'll all be enclosed. Won't see 'em.
nice.
Won't have trouble with them backing out and having to be put back in.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the little pavilion area here? Do you guys get to use that very much?
Not so much right now. Sally came through and most of the stuff that was out there got ruined or is
I
in the
see.
bay somewhere. We don't know where it is.
You know, it's kind of unique that people that live in coastal areas and hurricane-prone areas tend to make reference to certain things that have happened based on when a hurricane hit, like they mentioned Hurricane Sally.
Yeah, Hurricane Sally came in the fall of 2020 and left some damage behind.
I
It's
like
pretty
it,
big.
actually.
I like it.
It's a nice place to clean fish, too.
Yeah, I would
sun.
imagine so.
Yeah.
So you can catch some fish occasionally, can you?
I can't, but all my friends go out there and catch them for me.
I see a little bit of damage down there we'll have to take a look at and see, but I see a few other things over here, a little bit more rust. I guess that's a battle all the time, isn't it?
All the time. Everything around here, it seems like, just corrodes. I'm always painting the house, too. I mean, I always have a list going of all the things that need to be done, and I like to mark them off.
So did I understand you to say that you actually painted this last time?
I paint it all the time.
Is that right?
I have painted this entire house many times.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
2 days before I got the call that Danny and Chelsea were coming, I had power washed the back stairs, and then I was going to sand them and have them all painted before they showed up.
I can see we're going to have our hands full this week. We may be really tired at the end of this week.
Yeah, and I'm afraid if we stand still too long, she might paint us. Might be time for the lattice to be replaced.
Yes, I'm constantly kicking that corner in because it gets halfway into the garage.
Yeah.
It just doesn't stay in place anymore. The lattice keeps breaking, and I go out there and reattach it in places.
I know the roofers will be here in a few days, and a few of the things that we can address here and there.
Great.
You'll be ready for
Great.
summertime.
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
That'd be nice.
Maybe some fishing lessons, you know. And I'll go with you because I need them myself.
I know it sounds like Julie does all the work, but there's a reason for that. She does. And I tend to take that for granted, so I'm really looking forward to it. And maybe I'll learn a lot. Because, you know, I'm starting from square one.
If you own a piece of gas-powered equipment, whether it's a generator, a lawnmower, or a pressure washer, you know how important it is to change the oil. And that used to be a really easy, relatively neat job when they had a drain plug on the bottom of the engine, not unlike the ones you have on your car. But most pieces of equipment do not, and you have to dump the oil out of the same port that you pour the oil in, and that ends up being a very messy proposition. Oil typically drips all over the motor, all over the engine housing and the floor of your garage. So to make that job a lot easier, get a half-gallon milk container, cut away the spout and along the sides, and you end up with just this little holder like this, perfect to capture that dirty oil. So now you have to tip the motor up because there's no drain plug. This is the only other way to do it. You tip it up on its edge, hold this in place, and wait for that dirty oil to come out. There you go. Look at that, not a single drop ended up on the mower itself or on the floor. So now you've captured all that dirty oil very neatly in this container. You can pour it into a separate container, and once that's filled, you can bring it to the recycling center.
After the break, roofing demo isn't pretty.
You know, it looked almost like we'd been hit by a storm.
We're helping Don and Julie protect their waterfront home from the elements, and the first step is a new metal roof to replace the aging, rusty one. Once the materials arrive and the crew is on site, they begin removing the old roof, which begs the question, why didn't the old metal roof last longer? The roofing contractor, Stefan Boyer, explains why.
The reason this one's being replaced is because it was a lower quality material and it wasn't installed properly. But also there's a difference systematically. What we're replacing was an exposed fastener metal roof, which means the screw penetrates through the metal and the head of the screw is exposed. Now, metal doesn't leak, but holes in metal can be issues.
You know, that's what you see when you see the older roof there that has the fasteners visible. They're the ones that seem to have started all of the rust.
Yeah.
They're the trouble in the neighborhood.
The roof we're going to go back with is a standing seam snap lock roof. It's produced through a manufacturer that's a Metal Roofing Alliance approved manufacturer. Of course, we're a Metal Roofing Alliance installer. And one way you can make sure that you don't get burned by a bad metal roof is if you go through companies that have been vetted and approved through the Metal Roofing Alliance. You know those are going to be top-notch companies and that they're going to have the credentials and the skill set to put your roof on properly.
I had no idea what was under the metal itself.
You know, it looked almost like we'd been hit by a storm. It looked pretty dark and dank. I didn't really appreciate how much work was required to take it off. And then when you see what's underneath, you're really glad they're going to put something back on top of it.
The roof itself, being a steep pitch 12-12 on stilts, it's a pretty treacherous installation and very difficult. We take safety very seriously. And on a job like this, you got to stay strapped up, you got to have your harnesses on, you don't get in a rush.
Hanging off the side of a roof like that with ropes, I admire those guys, and they're moving along pretty quick.
I don't know how they're doing it, hanging off the side of a house and getting work done at the same time.
With the main structure being a fortified roof, we went with a completely sealed roof deck, so it's got a peel and stick membrane over everything, over all the decking. The metal roof should never have water get past it, but if a tree hits it and punctures it, this type of membrane is self-sealing, so it actually will heal itself in the short term. I mean, you can stop a leak in a creek with this stuff. It will not get water past it.
Well, usually we're the ones that are causing the chaos when we come out and get a project started, but man, these guys are making a lot of progress here.
They've done a great job. They came early yesterday. They were here late last night, and then they were here at 7:30 this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they are doing a fantastic job.
Well, you would think with it being so steep, that would just slow it down to
Right.
Scares me
pace,
to
but
death.
it looks like they're scurrying all around up there. They got the compressor going, nail guns everywhere. What I thought we would do is kind of work around any of the little danger zones there where we don't want any of the tin falling on us.
Yeah, if you and Don can move the picnic table, Julie, I was thinking that we
Okay.
could power wash it so we
All
could
right.
get it ready to stain it.
Sounds good.
Freshen it up.
And then Don and I can do the lattice work and everything. Now, did he look at all of the YouTube videos that I gave him a list of?
He did.
Is he ready to go?
I'm more confused than ever, but I'll follow your lead.
Well, come on, let's get the picnic table here.
All right, I'm just gonna put a little cleaner on here to help the pressure washer.
Okay.
I know you did a lot of pressure washing already, haven't you?
Yeah, not on the picnic table. Never thought to do that.
I love that Julie has used a pressure washer before, so she's not afraid of it and she knows how to get it done.
I have a pressure washer and I love it. And I'll just power wash anything. I was surprised at how the table was so filthy. It took a lot of effort. Power washer had to really work hard to clean it.
You know, I've used a lot of the plastic lattice, and it is good that you don't have to paint it.
Yeah.
Holds up pretty well, but disadvantage is it's a little flimsy and it'll get really brittle when the sun's hitting it all the time, like we're finding out in removing the
Yeah.
panels. She's not going to be able to recycle this one.
No.
If there's demolition in a project, I'll get Don involved. He can handle the whole thing. He's an expert now.
You know, I've become quite skilled at tearing things up.
While we have our power washer out, we're gonna go ahead and tackle the slab underneath the pavilion so that it is a nice clean slate for our updated picnic table.
I tell you what, painting it now will be a lot better. Once we put those plastic panels up there, you won't be able to get in there. Now, I generally love to paint, but I'm gonna let you do it today.
I feel so privileged.
I think lightning's about to strike me.
You know, when Danny asked me to paint, I thought he would make quite the lawyer. I practice law and have done it for quite some time, and Danny was very skillful in advocating that I do the painting and he watch.
Oh, I just saw him drip.
I heard that, Julie.
Oh, drip, drip, drip. He just dripped.
I admit it, I am a clean freak, and I love pulling out my pressure washer to make sure the outside of my house looks great. But what if you've got those projects where you don't want to pull that big, heavy machine out? Well, Ryobi has got a good solution for that. This is their 18-volt powered Easy Clean. Now, again, it runs on an 18-volt battery. You pop that into place, and now you can make it watertight in this little case. You just lock that down, and you'll be good to go. Now, you can, of course, attach your garden hose to this, but let's just say you're not near a garden hose source. You can use this 20-foot siphon hose. You simply click it into place, and you can drop that down in the lake. Let's say if you're cleaning your boat, or let's just say you like to mountain bike and you got your bike all dirty. This little attachment right here connects to a 2-liter bottle. Click it into place and you are good to go. Now it's 600 PSI, so it's not gonna clean your driveway, but for those smaller projects, this is a good option.
This Best New Product segment is brought to you by the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Coming up,
Don't you hate it when your kids act like you?
yeah. Don and Julie's home is getting a weather-wise makeover, which includes a new metal roof. Down at ground level, Don and I are cutting new lattice panels to replace the broken ones we took down earlier. But this time, when we install them, we're using stainless steel screws.
Don't you hate it when your kids act like you?
Yeah. It makes me a little proud, but quit. No jokes on me.
You do the jokes.
I do the
know,
jokes and jokes on others, but yeah.
No.
I said, what is Don doing to me?
Dad, Yeah, there are a lot of rusty bolts on the outside of this house that need to be taken care of before we can paint it.
Yeah, like you're painting any type of rusty surface, you gotta get as much of the loose rust off as you can. And then we're spraying it with a metal primer. That'll seal it in a little bit. Then with the paint going on top to protect it from the elements.
It's amazing how fast this roof is going on.
Yeah, man, the metal they selected and they're installing is just perfect.
Yeah.
And the big thing, no fasteners visible.
That's really cool.
With a standing seam roof, it's a little bit more of a complex installation than just a standard exposed fastener roof. There's a series of pieces that the roof connects to that are hidden, and then there's a male and a female part, and it locks into place, which is why they call it a snap lock roof. And you want to make sure you get as much wind resistance as you can. This roof is rated for 160 miles an hour. The reason for that is we have a special fastening pattern along the edges, and we're using an extended eave trim, which has a lip on it that the edge of the panel locks into. So that catches the front of the roof is where any wind is going to be hitting it.
It's nice not to have to see all those screws and bolts as well.
And no rust spots.
Well,
It'll
that's
be
true.
shiny and new.
All right, good morning, Don.
Hey, Danny, how are you this morning?
Oh, this is a nice thing to greet you every morning. I'm sure it pulls you out here every day.
Yeah, it's priceless. What a beautiful, staggering view every morning. I see all the birds are here to say
Yeah, I
hello
know.
to
I
us.
see that singing to you this morning.
They
and of course, living on the water, people are always going to ask you, how's the fishing?
Well, you know, I caught a speck out there yesterday morning and was very tempted to stay out there for a few hours, but
Oh, now, no,
duty
we need
called.
you. We need
Duty
you.
called.
Hey, I saw something I want to show you over here. These things are way overkill. Of course, I guess the previous owners had them left over or something, but I found a little bit of rot down in here. And it's not a structural problem, but it just doesn't look great.
Well, that lattice looks so good over there.
Oh, it
Fresh
looks
coat of paint.
great. It's
new
so
lattice.
white.
Well, I have this medium brown stain I'm going to coat the picnic table with.
Okay,
If you wanted to keep going on painting the white paint,
will do.
since you're the painter.
Okay.
Was that not hilarious seeing Dawn painting yesterday?
Oh, I was proud of
Like,
him.
I don't even know him that well, but I know that's not his forte. That's
He did
funny.
a great job.
Julie seems to be the complete opposite of Dad, because as much as he hates to paint, she loves it, and she seems to be pretty good at it.
You know, we have had the opportunity to work with some very hardworking homeowners.
Yes.
I believe we have found the hardest working
The hardest,
men.
yeah, Julie is just like a little Energizer bunny. She
know
just
it.
keeps going and takes care of this house. I'm coating the picnic table with a stain sealer, so not only is it going to change the color of the picnic table, but it's going to seal the pores of the wood, so hopefully it won't get as dirty as fast in the future.
To patch the post, I'm cutting some hardware cloth to cover the damaged area and anchoring it to the post with long screws. Then I mix up some fast-setting concrete to trowel into the wire mesh a little at a time so I can sculpt it to the shape of the post.
You can start making sculptures now.
Little pottery.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny's Pottery Barn.
That name's already taken.
Oh, okay.
Don and Julie's home is in a beautiful bayfront location, but that beauty comes at a price. The salt air, combined with the wind and the water of frequent storms, has taken a toll on the structure. There was rust on the old metal roof and on the exposed fasteners on the house and the stairs. Even the plastic lattice had been battered by the elements. But now, the house has a new lease on life. The rust is gone. There's new paint, new lattice, and a brand new roof that not only looks great, but will protect this family and their home from whatever Mother Nature throws at them for years and years to come.
Really exceeded my expectations. I didn't know what to expect, but I'm more than pleased. And I didn't realize how sorry our old roof was. I didn't appreciate the need. What was most interesting to me is when I was fishing this morning and looked back at the house, it was almost like I'd seen a new house.
I love it. It was like the roof was glowing. It made me happy.
Now that the hurricane season is shortly upon us, I feel much more secure knowing that that roof is going to stay there during the next hurricane. And I don't have to worry about the roof. Other things, yes, but not the roof, not anymore.
Well, I'm not having much luck on the fishing front, but on the house front, we have had a great week. Beautiful weather, great crew, and fantastic homeowners. And we were able to complete the roof and a few other things that'll really protect this home and keep it looking good no matter what Mother Nature throws at it. Hey, I hope you enjoyed being with me and Chelsea on this special Today's Homeowner episode, and come see us again next week. Maybe I'll get better at this fishing, huh?
Kind of neat how they're going back with the same color metal roof, because it's almost like it's just getting a fresh coat of paint.
Oh, it's awesome.
I'll do that one by myself.